Morgan and Mark here from Whole Latte Love, and today we're going to be addressing a Facebook question that we recently had. Someone had posted on our page asking if we could do a video on a Cafe Crema using a semi-automatic machine. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what Cafe Crema is, and we'll brew one on the Gaggia Classic.
Yeah, Cafe Crema, not very well known in the United States. And if you look at the words, cafe, a French word, crema, an Italian word. So it is really more of a European style drink.
Yeah, and actually, when Achille Gaggia invented espresso, or the process, it was called Cafe Crema before it was called espresso.
Yeah, and then Cafe Crema just kind of fell out of favor and started calling it espresso. And what a Cafe Crema means now is just, a standard sized cup of coffee, like 6 to 8 ounces, brewed using the espresso method.
Yep. So there's not really any standard for making one, so we're gonna do Mark's method is what we'll call it. Now I know you spent some time going over the parameters, and what did you find?
Well, I found for me the way we're going to do it is we're going to change the grind and otherwise brew exactly the way we normally would do an espresso. And for me it was really all about the grind.
Okay, and how did you do?
Well, I was able to produce a nice cup and got a thin layer of crema on top. It was bold and it was bright. And I like a bright cup of coffee, one where the flavor, you don't get a lot of aftertaste for a long time. That's the way I like it. Other people like it different ways. But for me, it turned out really nice.
So Mark, let's talk about the common drinks made on an espresso machine. So we've got your ristretto, which is a short shot. Then you have a regular espresso and a lungo, which is about 3 ounces. You also have an Americano, which is when you add hot water to your espresso. And some people might think that a Cafe Crema is very similar to an Americano, but it's actually quite different. It has a different flavor profile as all the water runs through the coffee in a Cafe Crema.
That's right. So we're going to do a Cafe Crema. Now we're going to use one of our favorite, of course, Italian coffees, the Italy's favorite coffee, Lavazza Super Crema, which I think is also appropriate because we're doing a Cafe Crema. And again, for the way we're going to do it, we're going to adjust the grind.
So what's interesting is that from a 1 ounce ristretto to a 6 ounce Cafe Crema, you want to get the same extraction time. So you're looking for 20 to 30 seconds for all the drinks that you're making.
That's right, and the way that you affect that extraction time is by the size of the grind. So much finer grind on a ristretto, coarser grind on a Cafe Crema, so that speeds up, slows down the extraction. So what I did, here's a look at, you can see here's a typical espresso grind as compared to the grind I ended up at for the Cafe Crema. Now, using a Barazza Virtuoso, usually I'm set at about a 2. Now, that's relative. But for the Cafe Crema, I was set at about a 10 to get that 20 to 30 second extraction time for a 6 ounce drink. Now, one of the things I did when we did that, when I was a little bit too coarse on the grind, I really didn't produce any crema, and it was a rather weak cup of coffee. When I got the grind dialed in just right, I hit it right at 25 seconds, got a nice layer of crema, and created a nice, bold cup. Didn't taste too thin, wasn't too much, it was just right. Kind of Goldilocks.
So Mark, one thing you did that you told me about was you used the Espro calibrated tamper. Now, why did you do that?
Well, I find that it's much easier if you use a calibrated tamper. You take the the difference in tamping pressure out of the equation when you're trying to find just the right grind. So as you pull a couple of shots, you're always using the same tamp pressure, but you're only changing the grind size. So it just makes it a lot easier to zero in on the proper grind.
So Mark, because we're using a coarser grind, do you have any dosing suggestions when loading the portafilter?
Yeah, I had some problems initially because I did it like I was going to do a normal shot of espresso, fill the portafilter a double shot right to the top, swiped it off, tamped it down, and because it's coarser, it's not going to tamp as much, and I wasn't able to lock the portafilter into the group head at all. So what I did was just slightly underdose the portafilter, just enough, and you have to find that spot where then you will be able to lock the portafilter in. Now what some people will do is use a triple shot basket so they can use the same dose and still get that portafilter to lock in.
Mark, when you were experimenting, you had to adjust the grind a few times. Now, how did you know when you had it right?
Well, first was, getting the time right. So if I was in that 20 to 30 second range, I knew I was doing well. The other thing is when I was grinding a little bit too coarse, I really wasn't getting much of a crema, so I wasn't really, getting the oils out of the coffee that are really going to give you a lot of that flavor. So when I got it just right, I was getting just a nice layer of crema on the top of the coffee, and also hitting it right at 25 seconds for a 6 ounce cup. And then of course, you taste it, and there was just such a difference between a grind that was just right and a grind that was too coarse where it didn't produce that crema.
So let's recap. If somebody wants to make a cafe crema at home using a semi-automatic machine, what are the key points that they need to know?
Well, there's a lot of different methods. Hopefully, we've given you a good start. But I think it's all about the grind. But more importantly, is a consistent tamp as you zero in on that grind. Also, you want to look for that 20 to 30 second extraction time. If you're going to use a double shot basket, you're going to want to underfill it a little bit because it's not going to compress as much because it's a little coarser. Or consider using a triple shot basket.
Okay, so that's Mark's method for making a cafe crema at home. If you have your own methods, leave us some comments. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Mark. Thanks for watching.
Whole Latte Love is your resource for everything coffee. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily updates on new coffee gear, plus hundreds of videos including how-tos, equipment reviews, recipes, expert technical advice, and more.
Hi, Morgan and Mark here from Whole Latte Love, and today we're going to be addressing a Facebook question that we recently had. Someone had posted on our page asking if we could do a video on a cafe crema using a semi-automatic machine. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what cafe crema is, and we'll brew one on the Gaja Classic.
Yeah, cafe crema, not very well known in the United States. And if you look at the words, cafe, a French word, crema, an Italian word. So it is really more of a European style drink.
Yeah, and actually, when Achille Gaja invented espresso or the process, it was called